Hand washing.
Wash your hands.
Internationally recognized World Health Organization endorsed gold standard of hand washing.
Washing your hands is your first line of defense. It's definitely more important than ever with the pandemic of coronavirus.
The second biggest killer of children in the world is neither malaria, neither tuberculosis, neither measles, neither AIDS, but diarrhea. That's according to the Economist magazine. Also according to the CDC, in an article, Global Water, Sanitation and Hygiene, diarrhea kills about 2,195 children every day, more than measles, malaria and AIDS combined together. It accounts to 1 in 9 child death worldwide, making it the second leading cause of death among children under the age of 5.
The biggest problem is lack of awareness, compounded with poor health facilities and hygiene, leaving children vulnerable to disease and, in the worst cases, to death.
We've met so many people here who've been affected by diarrhea. Something like 20 to 30 children have been brought down over the last couple of months. And despite a very strong, very visible government campaign, no one here appears to have any idea of the very simple steps you need to take to prevent it from setting in.
Many of these young victims will be alive if they and their families regularly wash their hands with soap.
Well, it's shocking that 123,000 children under 5 die every year in India of diarrhea. And you have to say that it's because there's been a lack of a concerted effort to tackle diarrhea, because you can easily prevent it. Hand washing, clean water, simple interventions make all the difference.
Researchers at London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine found out that appropriate hand washing can cut diarrhea cases by 43%, having an equal bigger impact on respiratory tract infections, the biggest killer of all. Hand washing can help us avert illnesses and save lives, for example influenza, common cold, flu, and without forgetting foodborne illnesses and the current COVID-19.
Washing your hands is your first line of defense. It's definitely more important than ever with the pandemic of coronavirus.
What soap does is mechanical. First, you are physically removing debris from your hands. It helps pry off the germs from your hands. And second, it disrupts or breaks the chains on the walls of bacteria and viruses, making the bad boys unable to carry on their dirty business, thus infecting us. We should make it a habit of washing our hands regularly. For example, after using a toilet, after washing or changing a bed, before preparing or sitting down to a meal, after touching surfaces where bacteria can lock on and stick on those surfaces, and any other occasion or instance where there is a likelihood of us transmitting or passing bacteria and viruses to others.
Over the course of the day, we touch millions of things. We touch our face, which we shouldn't. We touch chairs, we touch pens, we touch our phones, which are dirtier than anything else in the world. We touch money, and the best defense against that is to wash your hands and reduce the population of all of the microorganisms that currently swarm there. It's important to wash your hands to prevent the spread of every virus and bacteria, including the coronavirus. And your hands become the vector by which the bacteria, the viruses, the germs move from one place to the other. You should wash your hands after every contact with another person or with a surface that might have been dirty. You should wash your hands definitely before you eat. You should wash your hands probably before you pick up a phone and put it to your face. Anytime your hands are going to be near your face, you want them to be as clean as possible.
The CDC recommends that we should wash our hands for at least 20 seconds. I have severally warned you about splash and touch. See actually what happens.
What are we about to try to demonstrate here?
You are going to show me how you wash your hands.
All right.
And
We start by spreading a fluorescent gel onto my hands that only shows up under black light.
okay, so you can see the white
Oh yeah, it's like a kind of white chalkiness, right?
chalkiness. That's right.
The point is to show how we may not be getting our hands as clean as we think.
And now I'll just wash my hands like I normally
like
would.
you would normally
Okay.
wash
So I usually wet them a little bit. I'll get a little bit of soap on, and I just kind of do a quick little thing, never that long, and then I wash them off. Clean.
Okay.
You sound doubtful. you don't think
Let's
that's
see.
enough?
Let's see.
Okay.
Okay.
Needless to say, my method, too short, not thorough, only somewhat
So?
effective.
Oh, okay.
So you can see that there's still some white marking there.
Right.
And that can be a real issue when trying to avoid getting sick.
But you got the palms.
I got the palms. Okay.
We know that with other coronaviruses that have been studied, that they can live on inanimate surfaces from hours to days. And so it would do us well to think about washing our hands when we come into contact with surfaces where there may be a risk of contamination.
Consider the following video from the World Health Organization on proper hand washing procedure.
Hand washing should take you about 1 minute. Use a timer or count from 1 to 10 in each of the following steps. Wet hands with water and apply enough soap to cover all surfaces of the hands. Let the water run smoothly to avoid touching the tap later on. Rub hands palm to palm to obtain a good quantity of foam. Then rub right palm over the back of left hand with interlaced fingers, and vice versa. Rub again palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked, repeating this action for each hand. Rub rotationally left thumb clasped in right palm, and vice versa. To clean the tips of the fingers, rub rotationally backwards and forwards with clasped fingers of right hand in left palm, and vice versa. Rinse hands thoroughly with running water. Dry hands thoroughly with a single-use towel. If the tap is not elbow operated, use this towel to turn off the tap without touching it directly. Your hands are now clean and safe.
There is a need for us to educate our children on the importance of maintaining proper hygiene by washing their hands with soap and water. Although not easy, strive to make it your habit. Now you're in the know. My name is Harry. Stay safe and stay happy. Thank you.
Point. The WHO method, but set to a familiar tune. That's Dr. Thampi's creation. And she goes class to class teaching it.
Between the fingers.
Now keep in mind, these kids are all between 3 and 5. The task, daunting.
How many germs do you think are in your hands?
Lots.
Lots? Like how many?
1,000.
1,000? Julie, I'm going to shine the black light at your hand, and I'm going to see how many of the germs you got off. You ready? Do you see how it's kind of sparkling? I thought you said you got all the germs off. Okay, show me the back. How many germs did you say were on your hands again?
13.
13 germs? You think you got all 13 off? You ready? Let's see. Okay, that's pretty good.
According to a study published in the American Journal of Infection Control, kids who learned an organized, regimented way of hand washing had dramatically lower absentee rates from illness. And another study out of the UK found the method being taught here to be the international gold standard. In case you're wondering, these very same steps apply to hand sanitizer as well. And technique is important because it's only a matter of time before something that's gotten onto your hands gets onto your face.
Scrub the palms between the fingers. Wash the back. Wash the back. Twirl the tips around. Scrub them upside down. And this is to get the fingertips. Thumb, tack. Thumb, tack. As to whether you use hot or cold water, doesn't really matter. It's the soap that is washing those germs down the drain.